Good afternoon, Professor Parija. Good afternoon.
You're audible. Can you start? Yes, sir. Just please introduce the speakers. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon, sir. Am I audible? I think.
Yeah, you are very clearly audible. Welcome.
Thank you.
Very good afternoon to our respected Vice Chancellors, Professor B. Vengamma ma'am, Professor Subhash Chandra Parija sir, Professor B.R. Ramakrishna sir, dignitaries, teaching and non-teaching staff, faculties, other viewers, staff and students. I am Dr. Gargi Pushpalal, Senior Resident from the Department of Psychiatry, Mahatma Gandhi Medical College and Research Institute, Pondicherry. So before we begin, I would like to inform you that today's session will be recorded and will be available online post the session. In case of any questions or queries, please post it in the chat box along with your email ID. We will be replying to you. Paying due respect to the speakers, the other participants will be muted. In today's SBV CONNEcT webinar, we will be talking about various aspects of mental health and well-being. Mental health is a state of mental well-being that enables people to cope up with the stresses of life, realize their abilities, learn well, work well, and contribute to the community. It is not merely the absence of mental disorders. So without much delay, let's begin today's session. It's my honor to introduce our first speaker for the day, Professor B. Vengamma ma'am. Professor B. Vengamma, Director cum Vice Chancellor, Sri Venkateswara Institute of Medical Sciences, Tirupati, Andhra Pradesh. Dr. V. Vengamma, the first ever woman Director cum Vice Chancellor of SVIMS. She's a Senior Professor and Head, Department of Neurology, did her DM Neurology at the prestigious NIMHANS, Bangalore, and distinguished herself to be the best outgoing student. She teaches the postgraduates in DM Neurology, MCH Neurosurgery, MD Medicine, PhD, and has been an examiner on boards of several prestigious universities, including NIMHANS Bengaluru, and has been an MCI assessor for DM Neurology. She's recognized as an innovative researcher, has several ongoing research projects. She's the founder-president of the Tirupati branch of Indian Epilepsy Association and is the president-elect of the IEA presently. She is a recipient of Harish Chandra Bajoria Award for social activities in the field of epilepsy by IEA and the prestigious Ugadi Puraskar Award of the AP state government. Dr. Vengamma has a unique distinction of initiating a free epilepsy camp that provides free anti-epileptic medications to nearly 500 persons monthly and has been successfully running it since then. It's my honor to welcome B. Vengamma ma'am. Welcome, ma'am, and the platform is all yours now.
Thank you. There was some net connection. I think now I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yes.
Okay, I'll just start sharing my screen. You're able to.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, at the outset, I bring greetings from Tirumala, Tirupati, and I bring greetings from our institute, Sri Venkateswara Institute of Medical Sciences and Sri Padmavati College for Women. And I am really happy to be the part of this continuous webinar series, which is being organized by Sri Balaji Vidyapith regularly. And before I start, I really thank Professor S.C. Parija, Vice Chancellor, Sri Balaji Vidyapith, and also other speaker, Professor B.R. Ramakrishna, Vice Chancellor, Sri Swami Vivekananda Yoga Samsthana University, Karnataka, and all the delegates and faculty of Psychiatry Department of Mahatma Gandhi Medical College and Research Institute. The topic given to me was mental health and well-being for all global priority. And this is the theme for the year World Mental Health Day, which is supposed to be organized every year on 10th of October. Basically, I'm going to give the brief discussion on the theme of Mental Health Day and what is the current global mental health scenario. And basically, the theme has mentioned that make mental health a global priority. Like the world has come to live with and learn from far-reaching effects of COVID-19 pandemic. And because it took huge toll has taken on the mental health. And as all of you know, there is an increase in 25% of anxiety on other mental health related disorders in the first 1 year. That's why I think WHO has taken this theme of make mental health for well-being for a global priority, especially last 2 to 3 years because of COVID-19, lack of skills, funds, lot of people are displaced, and there is a lot of problem with the drug supply. That's why the global statistics on mental health are poorly defined, measured, and understood. The mental and substance disorders are common. 1 in 8 people are suffering from mental health disorders. Mental health disorders are common in women. Why we need to take this theme and what we should do on World Mental Health Day as a part of that. The 3 important steps. One is the raise awareness about the awareness about the mental health, because lot of underdeveloped countries there is a still lack of knowledge, and there should be an access to the right care, because stigma and discrimination and prejudice makes them to avoid the proper care. And we can definitely strengthen the mental health care by preventive care, quality treatment, and which in turn improves the quality of life. As per the WHO statistic 2019, global mental health, there are 970 million people, 1 in 8 people, out of which 80% are there in low middle income countries, more in females. As seen that there are premature deaths, 10 to 20 years premature deaths due to substance and mental health illness related comorbidities, and suicide accounts for 1 in 100 death, and which is the major cause of death among the young people. That's secondary to depression, substance abuse, and other causes. As per the prevalence of mental health reasons, as per WHO statistics, it ranges in America from 14.6 to Europe 14.2%, Eastern Mediterranean 14.7, Southeast Asia 13.2, and African countries it is 10.9%. Like it's among the currently, there are 970 million people living with mental disorders, out of which 52.4% are females, 47.6% are males. And out of which 31% have anxiety disorders, 28.9% have depressive disorders, and rest others includes attention deficit hyperactivity disorders, bipolar disorders, conduct disorders, others. This again showing you that globally there is 13% of the global population living with the mental disorders average. Like high income countries, it is about 15%, low income countries around 10 to 11%. Basically, health as per WHO is defined as a health is a state of complete physical, mental, social well-being and not merely absence of disease or infirmity. But the World Mental Health WHO defines as state of well-being in which individual realizes his or her abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, work productively, and contribute to his or her community. The mental health is critically important for everyone and everywhere. WHO has made a comprehensive mental health report, Transform Mental Health for All, 2013 to 2020. Some of the data I'm going to present from that report. Basically, the idea is comprehensive mental health action plan need to transform our attitudes, actions, and approach to promote and protect mental health. And as mentioned, the mental health is a critically important for everyone, and commitment to mental health is an investment towards the better life and future for all. Mental health conditions are widespread, undertreated. 71% people with psychosis do not receive mental health services, and they are under-resourced. Only 2% of the health budget on average goes to mental health. There are many determinants of mental health, that's risk factors ranging from genetic, low education, alcohol and drug abuse, unhealthy diet, obesity and metabolic risk, chronic illnesses, vitamin D deficiency, sleep disturbances, sexual abuse, emotional and physical abuse and neglect, substance abuse, use by the mother during pregnancy, sudden loss of a loved one, job strain, job loss and unemployment, lot of poor quality infrastructure, poor access to service, injustice, discrimination and social exclusion, health emergencies, social, economic, gender inequality. There are a lot of determinants and risk factors for mental health. There is a vicious cycle between the poverty and mental ill health exacerbates the mental health condition, starting from a poor parenting, including harsh punishment and neglect, which leads could be poor educational attainment and school failure. Subsequently, there is a domestic and interpersonal violence, reduced livelihood, mental health condition, which in turn make them to get into alcohol and drug abuse, risk-taking behavior. This is a mental health, and poverty is a vicious cycle. Understanding mental health as its intrinsic and instrumental value, helping us to connect, function, cope, and thrive. Connect through having positive relationship, contribute to the communities, get a sense of belonging, and empathize with others. Based that we can function by applying cognitive skills, gain on education, earn a living, make a healthy choices, and learn new skills. And to have a cope up with the deal with the stress, adapt to change, make complex choices, understand and manage emotions. And we can thrive by realizing our own abilities, feel good, find purpose in life, and think about our well-being and that of others. That's why the mental health is intrinsic and instrumental value. And it's like a continuum. It's not like a binary yes or no. There are persons with no mental health condition is more likely to experience higher level of mental well-being. In contrast, a person with no mental health condition can still experience low level of mental well-being. Similarly, a person with a mental condition can still experience high level of mental well-being, and a person with mental health condition more likely to experience low level of mental well-being. There is relationship between the mental well-being and the symptoms of mental health conditions. It can be experienced over the life course, and it is determined by multiple factors. It is determined by individual psychological and biological factors, family, community, and structural factors. If you take at individual level, it could be the genetic factors, social and emotional skills, sense of self-worth and mastery, good physical health, physical activity. These are all at individual levels of determinants of mental health as a protective factor. Family and community, good parenting, good perinatal nutrition, physical security and safety, positive social networks, social capital and social supports, and structural economic security, equal access to services, social justice and integration, income and social protection, and social gender equality. Mental health is experienced over the life course. Our infancy and childhood set the tone for the rest of our lives. Childhood upbringing always plays a lot of role in determining the mental health. Everyone has right to mental health, and as mentioned, mental health is critically important for everyone and everywhere, and mental health is everyone's business. The right to be protected from the mental health risk is a right to be available, accessible, acceptable, good quality care of services, right to liberty, independence, inclusion in the community. This is the concept of mental health. Mental health is everyone's business. They need financial support, educational support, housing support, and legal support. There are many gaps in the public mental health system. It is in the form of information gap, governance gap, resources gap, and services gap. The information gap is mainly the most countries report data to WHO, but these are often incomplete. Less than 5% of mental health research funding goes to low middle income countries. Most research is basic rather than clinical or applied. When it comes to the governance gap, only 21% of countries report implementing policies and plans that fully comply with the human rights instruments. 2 out of every $3 spent on mental health goes to running psychiatry hospitals where there is a misplaced priority. And coming to the resource gap, countries spend on average of just 2% of their health budgets on mental health. That is very scant spending. And lack of essential medicine is very important, which are unaffordable, unavailable in low middle income countries. Another important thing is low workforce, that is low income countries, there are fewer than one in mental health worker, and at least in our one psychiatrist for I think 2 lakh population, our Indian status. Digital divide, most households in the least developed countries do not have an internet access. Coming to the service gap, 71% of people with the psychosis do not receive mental health services. And there is a limited range, that is few countries provide psychosocial interventions at the primary care level. Few low middle income countries provide income, housing, employment, or educational support. Current global threats to mental health are increasing suicide rates. As mentioned, it is the commonest cause of death in young people. And there are emerging infections, especially last 2-3 years we have seen with the COVID-19. The new other threat is a new psychoactive drugs addiction to the ketamine, and a lot of other behavioral addictions like internet gambling, smartphone, food addiction. These are all the threats to the mental health in the coming future. Just a few words about mental health among the medical students and residents. There are 95% express burnout, 10% about severe stress, 60% moderate stress, 45% express anxiety, 16% had a suicidal ideas. At least this is a part of our study in our own, among our own medical students and residents. The risk factors could be many, ranging from biological vulnerability, work-related poor coping skills, family-related, academic failure, unrealistic expectations. Warning signs has to be kept at workplace or study, that is not answering phone calls or substance use, irregular and late to work and college, frequently taking sick leaves or absenteeism, come early and leave late, work hard but still no productivity, frequent mistakes, slow in doing procedures. All these things we have to observe among the residents and the students, medical students. Basically, suicide in students is a preventable act. We should know about the risk factors, warning signs, and intervention. The risk factors for a suicide: previous self-harm attempt, family history of suicide, psychiatric illness, including substance use, and constant thoughts of hopelessness. If there are elderly people, male gender, they are more risk for suicide. What are the indirect signs of a suicide? Sudden decline in academic performance in students, unexplained injuries, online searching for a lethal weapons, impulsive, reckless behavior, fixation with the death ideas in poetry, expressing burden to others, feeling trapped, frequent visits to physician, withdrawn from close friends, death wishes, posting online. These are all the indirect signs for suicide, which all the physicians has to keep in mind. The interventions could be three parts. One is a raise awareness, training programs on suicide prevention, remove important barriers like stigma, increase access for help, seeking help. Early identification, screening programs, reduce access to self-objects, treatment, of course, therapy and treatment of underlying cause. Most important regarding the mental health, the barriers to seeking help, there are three. One is patient-based, system-based, doctor-related. Patient-based mainly because they don't access to the seek for the help because of stigma, discrimination, and lack of time. System-based, there are very less access to the care. Doctor-related, they feel they may fear of medication and confidentiality. The doctor may tell others like that. That's why they don't seek for the help. Coping skills to manage the stressors, the 4 A's. If good, we have to advise about the healthy lifestyle, about regarding the diet, sleep, exercise, yoga, mindful meditation, maintaining good friendship, good relation, and coping skills. And then related to stress, alter the stressor, reframe your problems, brighter side, look at the brighter side and a bigger picture. Adopt the situation, that is, express your feelings, compromise, be assertive, and manage time. Accept the situation. Don't try to control uncontrollable things. Acceptance and forgive. I think all these coping skills to manage the skills has to be done proper. Counseling related to this 4. Healthy lifestyle, alter the stressor, adopt the situation, accept the situation. This is the summary of comprehensive mental health plan, that is 2013 to 2020 as per the WHO guidelines. It has given a clear principles of to cover under universal health coverage, talked about human rights, life course approach, evidence-based action, and multi-sectorial, with an objective of leadership and governance, provide the service at community, concentrate on promotion and prevention, and to provide information about evidence-based and research. Most important, the outcome expected is it has to be updated, rights-based policies, plans, and laws, service coverage for mental health conditions, community-based primary health care, functioning national multi-sectorial promotion and prevention programs, much fewer suicides worldwide, mental health and psychosocial preparedness for emergencies we should address, and routine collection and reporting of core mental health indicators. The goal ultimate of this by 2020, promote well-being, prevent mental health conditions, provide a care which promotes enhanced recovery, reduce illness, death, and disability. Selected priorities for action and associate strategies to promote and prevent mental health. First and foremost is suicide prevention. Limit access to means, interact with the media, responsible reporting, foster social and emotional learning for adolescents. Early intervention is important. Coming to the childhood and adolescent mental health, which needs school-based programs, caregiver support, community and online environment, and mental health at workplace, organizational strategies we have to address, manager, mental health training and intervention for the workers. I think these are all the 3 important areas the WHO, there are many things I have chosen only these 3: suicide prevention, child and adolescent mental health, and mental health at workplace as a part of make mental health well-being for all is a global priority. I think the aim of this one by 2020, till now we had a limited value attention to mental health. Mental health is valued by all. That's what our goal. Widespread stigma discrimination is there, which should be replaced by equal participation in society free from discrimination. Services are underfunded, under-resourced. Services are appropriately budgeted and resourced across the sectors. There is a little acknowledgement of determinants of mental health. Real, active, and multi-sectoral collaboration of determinants of health is required. Few and fragmented promotion and preventive programs, strategic and well-functioning promotion is required. Predominantly biomedical approach is the current. Now we have to see balanced, evidence-based, biopsychosocial approach to the care is important. Care that ignores people's own perspectives and priorities, and it should be now future. This person-centered, human rights-based, and recovery-oriented care has to be given. There is a change in the concept of mental health. Mental health care is only provided by the health sector. Mental health care should be embedded in services across all sectors. Care centered in psychiatry hospitals, now network community-based mental health services have been encouraged. Fragmented services with uneven access and coverage. Now, what future plan? Our goal is to coordinate service with the universal health coverage. Earlier, mental health care not available, primary health care. Now, our aim is to see that mental health care is integrated in all the primary health care. Community providers and informal support for mental health are ignored. Community providers and information support are activated, strengthened to support the people. This is what part of World Mental Health Report, Transform Mental Health for All by 2013 to 2030. This is what expected from the, based on this report, our outcome. To conclude, awareness is crucial to mental health. Most important, currently we have a reduced stigma and discrimination, improve the access to mental health, strengthen the mental health system is essential, seek help when necessary. Most important is learn healthy coping strategies. Effective treatments are available. Thank you. I think, thank you for your patience here. I will try to cover generally about what are the mental health and well-being for all as a part of a global priority based on WHO report. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the enlightening talk and also for taking us through the prevalence of mental disorders globally, how a significant proportion of individuals do not have access to the resources, some of the warning signs of suicide, and also some of the techniques on how to cope up with stress. I would now like to introduce our second speaker for the day. It's my honor and privilege to welcome Professor Subhash Chandra Parija, sir.
Good afternoon.
Professor Subhash Chandra Parija, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Balaji Vidyapeeth, Puducherry, an eminent academician, erudite microbiologist, researcher, keen votary of medical education and able administrator, former director, JIPMA Pondicherry, author of 16 books and 400 plus research papers in national and international journals, has been listed among top 2% of scientists globally in the field of tropical medicine, FAO WHO expert member on food-borne parasitic diseases, received the Dr. B.C. Roy National Award MCI in the year 2003 for his nodal contributions to the development of medical microbiology, founder of the Indian Academy of Tropical Parasitology, conferred with various fellowships that include FAMS, FICAI, FABM, FIMSA, etc. Welcome, sir, and the platform is all yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gargi Pushpalar. It's respected Professor Vengama, Vice Chancellor at Tirupati University, SBI MSc Tirupati, Professor B.R. Ramakrishna, Vice Chancellor of Swami Vivekananda Yoga Anusandhan Samsthan University, Karnataka, and Dr. Gargi Pushpalar, the moderator of this interesting program, and dear participants of this interesting webinar on mental health and well-being. At the outset, it is my immense pleasure to welcome you all to my esteemed speakers and all of you for participating in this webinar on mental health. I must thank Professor Vengama, who has so nicely, vividly described and presented about the mental health and well-being. In essence, had made my job easier. Now, what I'm going to share is the application of the most important component we are talking nowadays, is the artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence in healthcare. As we talk about this 21st century, particularly in the context of Industrial Revolution 4.0, we always talk about Internet of Things, big data management, artificial intelligence, robotics, data science, and so on. So in this context, it is most apt that 21st century will be affected, influenced mostly by all these components of Industrial Revolution 4.0, including artificial intelligence. And in essence, artificial intelligence, when we talk of, I'll try to present this presentation within 25 to 30 minutes. First, I'll just briefly introduce about artificial intelligence, then summarize various indications of use of artificial intelligence in general settings, followed by in healthcare, and followed by mental health. That is what we are talking about that. Then I'll try to identify some lacunae in the provision of mental health services. And in that context, what is the need for artificial intelligence? And I'll share about the different components of artificial intelligence in mental health with specific reference to the sources of illness and provisioner of therapy through artificial intelligence, what are the advantages, disadvantages, controversies, and so on, and what more research one can carry out in using artificial intelligence in healthcare, particularly mental health systems. When we talk of artificial intelligence, what is artificial intelligence? It's a now term extensively used to describe the use of computers and technologies to simulate intelligent behavior and critical thinking compared to human beings. This was the term first used by John McCarthy as early as in 1956. Artificial intelligence has many uses in general settings. As we know, it's being extensively used for predicting weather patterns, logistic plannings, manufacturing, and finance functions. Extremely widely used in automobiles, aircraft guidance systems, and smart mobile devices like voice recognition software, such as Apple Siri, internet web browsers, and a plethora of other activities. This is becoming more day by day, more extensively spreading to various components. And the most important component is that this is being used to solve problems and perform tasks in a more reliable, efficient, and effective that were possible without them. When we talk about artificial intelligence in healthcare, we can have two main uses of artificial intelligence. One is virtual uses, second is physical uses. Virtual uses ranges from applications such as electronic record system in neural network-based guidance in treatment decision. That's what we use nowadays. And physical part that deals with robots assisting in performing surgeries, intelligent processes for handicapped people and elderly care. These are the various uses of artificial intelligence that this has been used more and more nowadays because it expands the access and definitely reduces cost. And it helps in detection of health risk and informing interventions, interacts with care seekers and provide treatment recommendations. And this informs about health conditions, conduct question and answer assessment, and provide self-care, counseling, and deliver therapeutic interventions. Uses of artificial intelligence in mental health. Artificial intelligence is being widely evaluated for use in various aspects of mental health. It's been used in natural language processing of clinical text and social media context. It's used widely in chat box and other artificial agents for mental health. It's also used as an expert system for psychiatry. It's also being used for neuroimaging of the brain imagings. Hence, but while you talk about that artificial intelligence and mental health, so let's see how this artificial intelligence will become more popular because of many lacunae currently being provision of mental health care. Many lacunae are there because machines that provide these care services in mental health care are not susceptible to fatigue, not susceptible to boredom, burnout, forgetful, personal biases that human therapists, currently practices may have. And second, while patients have a session with mental health therapist, patients should have experience less anxiety when discussing their intimate private issues with a machine than they would discuss with another person. This is what's natural. And this artificial intelligence will facilitate to spend more time for the health wellness practitioners with patients. Obviously, will be always friendly and do not make users feel rushed or judged. Because significant proportion of individuals access the globe, reside in area without a sufficient number of mental health care practitioners. Hence, this resource gap, lack of sufficient healthcare providers, and there's a need again to address mental health status of many, many patients is a real gap in which this artificial intelligence is trying to step in to provide a reliable and good service. Artificial intelligence, according to the World Health Organization, mental health disorder claim 2,443 years of life for 1 lakh population in India. In 2017 alone, 1 in 7 Indians is suffering from mental health disease. The field of effective computing, also more commonly referred to as emotion artificial intelligence, is a subfield of computer science originating in the 1990s. Rosalind Picard, who was a pioneer, defined affecting computing as a computing that relatively arises from or deliberately influences emotions. It involves creation of technology to recognize, express, and adapt to the human emotions. AI system requires simplification of psychological models and neurological theories. Emotion AI cannot capture diversity of human emotional experience and is embedded within the programmer's own cultural bias. Voice reflections or gestures in this conventional counseling varies from one population to another, but that struggle to capture diversity of human emotional experience. Effective system seriously impeded by limited reliabilities because lack of specificity, restricted generalizabilities. In 2019, ban on the use of effect detecting technology, acquisition of racialism was also initiated. Nevertheless, mental health practitioners have more hands-on patient centers in their clinic practice, relying more on softer skills. Mental health clinical data, often in the form of subjective and quantitative and qualitative patient assessments, and written notes. Hence, in this background, machine learning helps a lot in context of supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and deep learning. And that is what through natural language processing. There are various parameters of assessment of illness. This assessment of illness can be expressed by various reflections of the body movements like facial expressions, speech, changes in the gait, heartbeats, eye blinks, and so on. A study on San Francisco-based Sentio solution combines both physiological signals and automated interventions to manage stress and anxiety. Sensory wristband monitors sweat, skin temperature, measure skin temperature, blood flow, ask users how to select how they're feeling from a series of levels such as distress or content. All these have been facilitating the access of the patients to the clinicians and in a more specific and better way. And brain scans, medical data, questionnaire about personal circumstances in the measures without the need for specialist assessment every time patient is being exposed. There are various sources being used adjunct to the treatment. For example, WeBut is based on cognitive behavioral therapy principles. It has an empathy component that is tailored to the messages that the individual sends. It is designed to target cravings and urges and helps the individuals build self-awareness in terms of their patterns of thinking, mood-related thinking, anxiety, depression, as well as the urge and craving to use. There are many such components. For example, Apollo neuro ankle bands monitors users' heart rate variabilities to emit vibrations that provide stress reliefs. There are many chatbots that the way I mentioned, Ubud, SIM, CocoBot, Waisa, DBBot, and so on, are the most reported mental health chatbots in the literatures that helps to interact and to monitor and assess for the treatment. Travers works to work in partnership with the counselors, and then again a creation of LA, a virtual avatar therapist, though not currently available to wide public. Future lies with the advent of more such virtual therapists in mental health program. And Provision of cognitive behavioral therapy is being facilitated to a great extent through artificial intelligence by, for example, internet interventions for anxiety and depressions have actual support with outcomes equivalent to therapist-delivered CBT or cognitive behavioral therapies. And the main advantage of this cognitive behavioral therapy is that it reaches relatively large populations at very low cost. And many reviews of meta-analysis have found those small but significant post-intervention effects similar to face-to-face interventions. Hence, UBERT is based on this CBT principle of IT. Then the CBT also mediated through artificial intelligence has been also being extensively used, evaluated in phobia, fear. And this virtual realities in phobia is being widely evaluated. And similarly, there are many ways in which this has been used to augment mental health, like digital therapeutics, real-time interventions and personalized advice, monitoring devices, continuous monitoring of behavioral health 24/7, on-demand support, and telemedicine technology, remote visit to the area where a remote visit to psychiatrist or a psychotherapist on the regular visits that are available. In essence, to summarize, artificial intelligence has been increasingly used in many components in the mental health. It's been used in natural language processing of clinical text and social media content. As I summarized, it has been used in various chatbots and other artificial intelligence agents for mental health. It's being visualized as a good expert system for psychiatry, and is also being used in neuroimaging of brain imaging and human-computer interactions of AI-driven mental health tools and critical integrations of AI solutions, essentially to augment psychiatry and psychology. Advantage of this AI is projected to be many. First, it increases access and provides support available 24/7. This is one of the most important advantages of artificial intelligence in mental care, which is being projected. And by using artificial intelligence, mental illness management can be addressed in a more targeted way. And the most important thing is that this AI eliminates barriers to convenience or access or privacy, as a result of which patients are more free and accessible to the psychotherapy or to the mental health management. And this definitely, though, does not replace or substitute, but it supplement human therapists or supports human therapists. And it's an interesting tool which is believed to help more and more in research in mental health wellness program. And machine learning algorithms can alert doctors a patient is at risk of developing mental health issues based on existing mental records. So this is a system which, being evaluated and being widely used, have good potential to boost, augment the quality of healthcare in mental health. Again, it helps in destigmatize mental health issues, and it could be used as a lifeline for people living in rural areas where mental health support is hard to deliver, or for those people who can afford to be in counseling with a therapist regularly. And definitely, it has potential to integrate as customization of care. And above all, it reduces bias and human errors. While accessing large population of the patients, definitely, indirectly, it gives rise to a lot of economic benefits. Computer-centric technology helps assess internal stress not detectable by humans. And since physician time is always limited and is progressively limited, definitely use of AI helps in these respects. Nevertheless, while we foresee, visualize so many advantages of AI, artificial intelligence in mental health care, we must also be aware of many disadvantages that could be associated of AI, which cannot be supplemented by use. Most important thing is in mental health programs, in counseling, definitely the need for human to human is most important. That cannot be overlooked. That cannot be substituted completely, which cannot be given by artificial intelligence using various resources. And this does not offer a system, but it makes sure people come back and interact with on a regular basis. The system not available, and this is yet to be polished and sophisticated enough to replicate spontaneous, natural conversions of therapy and cognitive behavioral therapy, because it involves the collection of vast mining of the details, personal informations, and integrated beliefs in childhoods. That is one of the most important noted disadvantages. And particularly in many studies which have used artificial intelligence have noted high dropout rates. Only small segments of user regular follow treatment with these apps. So in essence, even technology is strong and robust, but still wide acceptability, regular using is yet to be widely used in this artificial intelligence in pertaining to mental health. So in essence, there are many challenges for successful implementations, use of artificial intelligence on a wide scale. Data used to train artificial intelligence models is crucial aspect of clinical utility. AI only as goes at data if it's trained on and people are using it, not beyond that. It can capture person voice and movement without more context and judgment. Crucial information definitely can be left out. It fuels wellness economy, despite large proportion of developers having no prior certification in therapeutic counseling. According to American Psychological Association, more than 20,000 mental health apps available, with only 2.08% backed by published peer-reviewed evidence efficacy. It means this has led to large number of apps which may not be peer-reviewed or scientifically strong or scientific evidence, hence being grossly misused and misinterpreted. And there are also many ethical and legal aspects that should, with reference to informed consent, safety and transparencies, and most important is algorithmic fairness. Human trained algorithm will be only trustworthy, effective, and fair as that data it is trained with. Again, in recent years, particularly this 21st century, there's a lot of concern about data protection and privacy. Data protection laws in place that adequately protect the privacy of individuals, especially patients. So use of artificial intelligence with the analysis of large data of patients, especially patients, obviously has the opportunity for the challenge and being used in appropriate way. And cybersecurity is really an important component, which is a threat in day-to-day life, will pose challenge for legal challenge to the use of artificial intelligence in healthcare, storing and harvesting of the data. and protection for high-risk patients and alert in case of risk of suicide homicides. In essence, in Indian context, definitely there has been some trend and definitely a positive way of artificial intelligence being evaluated in Indian context. Artificial intelligence enabled digital platform for mental health was launched in India recently, and particularly it has been widely used telepsychiatry, especially after COVID-19 pandemics. That was really a boon for the people who are remotely or others are not accessible by the common therapistics. Hence, there is a component of being AI being used in health scenario, not in globally, but in our country, India. But definitely, there is a strong research need. And why further research needed for artificial intelligence? To solve, to address the issues of the current challenge with AI. And major challenge will be how to increase the access and make it region specific for better quality, and identifying most of the risk situations that threatens to at the earliest, and evaluate and formulate and make guidelines and regulations for evidence-based research, especially in our local scenarios. Thank you. Thank you very much for your patience here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for the elaborate discussion on such a challenging topic, which is still in research and covering various aspects of artificial intelligence in mental health care, like the various applications currently being used, the advantages, disadvantages, some of the challenges faced, and most importantly, the ethical and legal aspects of artificial intelligence in mental health care. Coming to our final presenter for today, it is my honor to welcome Professor B.R. Ramakrishna, sir.
Namaste.
Welcome, sir. Professor B.R. Ramakrishna, Vice Chancellor, Swami Vivekananda Yoga Anusandhana Samsthana University, Karnataka. Professor B.R. Ramakrishna is Professor of Ayurveda Medicine and Surgery, having teaching and field of experience of more than 40 years, and is a towering academic administrator. He was the gold medalist for Best Outgoing Graduate by Karnataka State Government in 1976. Member of the Advisory Council of Indian System of Medicine, NCISM, Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. Chairperson, NEP, Expert Committee to draft model curriculum contents on physical education, sports, and yoga from 10th August 2021 to date. Member of the Governing Council, All India Institute of Ayurveda, Government of India. Licensing Officer for COVID-19 Research and Prophylaxis Protocol Survey in Karnataka State, appointed by Ministry of Ayush, Government of India from 2020. Director of Shushruta Ayurvedic Medical College and Hospital. Chairperson, Human Ethics Committee for Research in Ayush and Integrative Medicine, NIMHANS, Bangalore. Vice President, Central Council of Indian Medicine, Government of India. Sir has received the Yoga Shri Prashasti awarded by Ajit Kumar Smaraka Samskrata Vedika, Bangalore in 2021. He was awarded as Torchbearer of Ayurveda by World Ayurveda Foundation. He has rich 23 years of research experience in his field, including PG and PhD studies. Has developed 90 polyherbal Ayurvedic products based on the principles of Ayurvedic pharmacology and therapeutics. A warm welcome, sir, and the platform is all yours.
Thank you. Namaste. Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Most respected Chancellor of Sri Balaji Vidyapith deemed to be University, Professor M.K. Rajgopalanji, Professor Subhash Chandra Parija, Honorable Vice Chancellor SBV, Professor Vengamma, Vice Chancellor, and we have the moderator, Dr. Gargi Pushpalal. First of all, I express my Abhinandan to Sri Balaji Vidyapith deemed to be University for having organized this wonderful webinar. I should say it is with the context, because people are still mentally, they have to come back to the normalcy. Still people do suffer with lot of problems with their mental status, though the pandemic is slowly getting resolved. The topic being the mental health and well-being. The topic allotted to me is salitogenesis and well-being in context to COVID-affected individuals. The word salitogenesis is a very rare word used, but it has a lot of inner meaning. It refers to a scholarly orientation focusing attention on the study of the origins of health. That means how health is contributed, and in contra, the origins of disease and the risk factors. It focuses on the origins of what creates health, that is the strengths and resources, and focuses attention towards the development of health. Rather, it defines about the factors responsible for disease causation and promoting health. In one side, it talks about the pathogenesis, and in the other side, it talks about the prevention, cure, and care. Yeah, the main focal point of this salitogenesis is, one is the meaningfulness and comprehensibility and manageability with reference to both health and the disease. See, these three, that is our nutrition, diet and dietetics, our lifestyle, which essentially includes exercise, and sleep play an important role in both causing disease and promotion of health. Coming to the SARS-CoV-19, today, still the world is not all right. Already there are signals that everyone has to follow certain precautionary methods like wearing mask in the social gathering, and other things started since yesterday already. The people all over the world are stressed and strained with anxiety and fear. This was there very significantly in the beginning, but slowly people got used to it, or rather people developed immunity for this.
Dr. Swati.
And this COVID-19 is a SARS pandemic disease which is called as Upasargika Evam Janapadodvamsa. Upasargika means the one which spreads from person to person, and Janapadodvamsa means the one which kills the mass. This has been there since time immemorial. This type of pandemics is not new. It was there, it is there, it will be there. And it has spread more than 200 countries or even more. But this data, what is being given, causing fatality of more than 6 lakhs is in the year 1920. And infected more than 1.5 crores. Today, the data is more than 62 crores of people all over the world are affected, and more than 65 lakhs, in fact, they lost their life. This is the scenario of this COVID pandemics. Why this is? No definite and proven either preventive or curative line of treatment available and causing high mortality. Even today, the vaccination, no doubt it has helped, but it has not provided total eradication or cure like polio and other things. Maybe our should really congratulate the scientists who have worked hard. At least with the timeline, the vaccination was brought and many people's life has been saved. But the mental agony and the distress continue, because many families, the earning members lost their life, children lost their life, youngsters lost their life, and lot of financial implication, and all global activities had come to a standstill. But thanks to God, slowly it is recovering. And for many, even today, the future looks gloomy, because whatever the loss that has happened during SARS pandemic, it has not come to the normalcy. Next. Now look at how this pandemic has caused mental disturbance. If you look into these graphs, it shows very clearly it has resulted in significant amount of anxiety and depression, and lot of mental problems like suicidal, severe distress, high level of perceived stress, severe depression, high level of anxiety, irrespective of the age. In fact, school children are the worst hit actually. For 2 years, the children were at home, they got addicted to this mobile or this computer or other activities, no physical activities, and it has resulted into so many things. And people with a lot of financial implications and the losses, they lost their life. That is one aspect. Industries have collapsed. People virtually, they lost their, in fact, the futuristic light is not there. So this has resulted lot of mental disturbances, and that is deformed. It is simply because the cause was something not clearly known, and the mutations. And initially they said only one particular variant, later several variants came, and still they talk about new variant. When this is there, everything looks something gloomy, and the future doesn't look brightful. This has resulted in lot of mental disturbances. Next. And if you look into the trauma this COVID-19 has caused, the CDC survey on mental health, substance use later, people started, and suicidal ideation during COVID-19 pandemic clearly showed that boys, girls, children, everyone got affected very significantly, and it has directly resulted on the quality of life. Next. Now, what is the solution for this? Allopathic system of healthcare? Yes, to the maximum extent. They have done wonderful. They have been able to find out the diagnostic methods and early vaccination. I mean, it has been very fine. And it has understood the human physical system thoroughly to the minutest level. Has explored more than 40,000 chemical compounds for medicine, for this medicinal usage, and conducts more than 5,000 types of surgery, which includes organ transplantation, life-saving measures, medical emergencies, IVF, everything, but failed to find solution for non-communicable diseases like hypertension, diabetes, hormonal disorders, sleep disorders, psychosomatic disorders, autoimmune diseases. These are the areas where still no permanent solution. Once a diabetic is a diabetic forever. Once a hypertensive, he is hypertensive forever. He has to be on drugs. This is the scenario of modern system of medicine. But why this is? Let us look into. Next. See, the modern science approach is a matter-based approach. It is purely of deterministic and reductionistic. According to modern science, all objects, including human system, consists of innumerable number of energy packets. And the human system is a machine, and it needs either repair or replacement when there is problem. This is the modern science approach. Here comes the importance of Ayush systems. WHO defines health as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely an absence of disease or infirmity. This definition, in fact, it has been there since time immemorial, from the period of Vedic. Samadosha, samagnischa, samadhatu malakriyaha, prasanna atma indriya manaha swastham ityabhidiyate. No doubt, there should be a harmonious state of physical body. All physical should be normal. Senses should function perfect. Mind and consciousness. This is the second line is most important, which is which is also to some extent included in the modern definition of health. And yoga also defines a perfect state of health is a homeostatic state of within and among the 5 dimensions of life. Human system essentially comprises of physical, physiological, psychological, intellectual, and spiritual dimensions, and it is not merely the physical approach. Next. So what is well-being? WHO defines health as, the concept of health as well as well-being very clearly. The well-being of an individual or group of individuals have both objective and subjective components, and this is related with health, family life, housing, work, leisure, security, social participation, financial security, learning, friends, hobbies, environment, and wealth. All these aspects need to be in harmony to say one is having a well-being. Next. And it is of again 2 types, subjective and objective. The objective components are generally known by the term standard of living or level of living. The subjective component is referred to as quality of life. And when we talk about these ancient systems of healthcare, it gives more importance for lifestyle. Improper lifestyle leads to disease. Proper lifestyle prevents disease, and it helps to cure the disease, and it helps for rehabilitation. What are these? These are ahara, vihara, vichara, achara, yavahara, and adhyatma. Ahara refers to our diet and dietetics. We require balanced diet. Vihara, our habits and practices. Vichara, our mental health and good thoughts. And achara refers to daily regimens, and vyavahara refers to our occupation or profession, and adhyatma is our thinking, our rather roadmap should be towards spiritual. Then only such a person will enjoy a perfect state of health and may possess positive health. It has been very clearly said in Bhagavad Gita, yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnama bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. Yukta ahara vihara. That means a perfect or a balanced or a moderate food, habits, thoughts leads to health, and improper leads to disease. This has been very further defined. Look at here. Arjuna was in a state of melancholia. He was in a state of confusion. He tells to Lord Krishna, no, I am not in good mental health. I cannot take decision. Do not direct me to fight against my own kith and kin. And he was in a state of depression. Further, ragadvesha viyuktaistu vishayan indriyaischaran atmavasher vidheyatma prasadam adhigacchati. One who controls the mind and is free from attachment and aversion, even while using the objects of senses, attains the grace of God. It means he enjoys a perfect state of bliss. Next. No. Next. Look at the current scenario. This COVID-19 impacts all aspects of society. Look at the education, climate, poverty, growth. Every field for that matter is disturbed, and it has led it to an imbalance in the society, or a significant poverty in the society definitely makes everyone stressful, and everyone will have a state of imbalance in their mental status. Next. And this yoga in the post-pandemic era has helped a lot. Because it has imbibed with a good lifestyle. It helps to build a strong physical, mental, and spiritual health system. When combined with breathing and meditation, which are the most important aspects of yoga, it acts as the best element to take care of mind, body, and soul. Our approach is not merely taking vaccination and building immunity. against the virus. We need to have a state where our body, mind, and consciousness works in a balance. Next. And Ayurveda, similarly in yoga, these are like two faces of the same coin, which are considered as the most earliest systems of healthcare, where the importance is given for lifestyle management, and both systems' aims and objectives are same. The focus is mainly on the lifestyle. And Ayurveda, it talks more about what is known as hita hitam sukham dukkham ayustasya hita hitam. It talks about what is beneficial and what is non-beneficial for health, and that non-beneficial, how it promotes disease. Next. And this is overcome by simple lifestyle plus, if necessary, use of naturally available herbs. The objective is to maintain health of the healthy, cure of the diseases, prevention of diseases and disorders, and supporting for longevity. And health forms the most fundamental prerequisite to achieve the four folds of life, which we call it as dharma, artha, kama, mokshanam, arogya moolam uttamam. Next. Benefits of yoga, it has been scientifically proved that it increases quality of life, strength, flexibility, and balance, reduces stress, anxiety by decreasing gray matter in amygdala, improves mental resilience by maintaining size of the hippocampus, decreases physical pain, helps physiological response to pain, functions as complementary therapy for anxiety, depression, PTSD, and ADHD, and it reduces inflammatory markers. Next. And today the challenge is when we are not able to find solution from one system of medicine, how to do it, how to handle the situation. Ano bhadraha kritavo yanta vishwataha. This is very simple. Let us accept noble thoughts coming from every side, whether it is from ancient or from modern. One thing one should remember, that sarvaha sarvam na janati. Nobody is perfect in everything. We have to accept the best thing from every side. Modern system, Ayurveda, yoga, siddha, naturopathy, traditional medicine, best of the East and best of the West, what has been said by Swami Vivekananda. And West is known for scientific studies, and the East is known for understanding the human system in totality, that is at the level of even consciousness. So in this concept, next. Now, there is no option other than integration. What is integration? See, multiple causes of any problems need multiple or integrated approach of management. Indian thinking has been unity in diversity, diversity in unity in all aspects. Ekata mein anekata, anekata mein ekata. This is our slogan. It has been said very clearly, let noble thoughts come to us from every side. Ano bhadraha kritavo yanta vishwataha. Let us accept the best thing from all the systems of medicine so that physical, mental, spiritual health can be maintained and achieved. And integrative medicine is essentially a pluralistic healthcare, and it is a holistic health system. It is inherited with people, community, and countries. And integrative medicine is defined as a unique holistic system of healthcare which aims at treating a recipient with the best available choice of intervention for the situation and context to ensure optimal health benefits, minimal side effects, and cost effective. So we can make use of wherever necessary. We have to go with vaccine, chemicals, antibiotics, steroids when necessary. But to boost general immunity, let us go with so many herbal drugs, herbal medicines, which have the power of improving immunity, and yoga, which helps to maintain the balance of the mind, balance of body, and also the consciousness. Next. Next. Strength of Indian system of healthcare understands life in totality, not a separate physical, not mental, like that. Solutions to calm down the mind we have. unlike the modern system of medicine giving tranquilizers and sedatives, and it is a personalized medicine to meet individual needs and bound to the roots of Indian culture, and it is affordable, adaptable, and accessible. And yoga, an Indian science in pandemics, it helps in sensitizing the respiratory system, activates immunity, relaxes the mind, helps to build a strong physical, mental, spiritual health system. And when combined with breathing and meditation, it acts as the best element to take care of our mind, body, and soul. And integration of healthcare is the need of the hour, which has efficacy, safety, and availability, practicability, and economics points need to be considered. And these points can be fulfilled only by integration. And integration of available healthcare systems is inevitable and warranted in the management of SARS pandemic COVID-19 today. It may be 2020 to 23, 24, we do not know, as no system is capable of providing neither total preventive, I don't want to say preventive because it has helped already to prevent to some extent, nor curative protocols. Next. And the modern preventive and curative protocols for SARS also plays an important role. The most important is improving immunity, which we call it as Vadhikshamatva. That is achieved through best methods, what is known as Dinacharya, everyday lifestyle, Rutucharya, seasonal oriented lifestyle, Sadvritta, Sadachara, good code and conduct, using immuno-boosting herbs, and detoxicating the system in different seasons, and avoiding the blunders, that is doing such things which are against to the conventional precautions that is being given. And finally, dharma paripalana. If you are righteous in all directions, no disease can come nearby. It can be prevented very successfully. So there are a lot of researches have been done. The research papers have shown that these traditional and the Ayush systems have contributed a lot, particularly yoga and Ayurveda, in preventing the mental agony and the disturbance during this COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, sir, for the holistic approach on salutogenesis, the significant effect of COVID-19 on the mental health of people, increase in the prevalence of mental disorders during this time, the various treatment options available, including healthy lifestyle, yoga, the benefits of Ayurveda in this field, and last but not the least, the important concept of well-being. So this brings us to the end of today's webinar. I would like to thank our speakers, Professor B. Vengamma ma'am, Professor Subhash Chandra Parija sir, Professor B.R. Ramakrishna sir. I would like to thank all the members of the organizing team for their effort. I would also like to thank the management for giving us this opportunity to conduct such a program. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.